line, waits for Williams, now steps back, takes a three, got it! Grizzlies go up 98-97.
The spirit that he plays with, it's infectious. I've said it since day one, he's going to be built for moments like this, and this is super impressive.
Definitely big time. Definitely up there. I felt like, this was kind of a must-win game for us and, for me.
Keyshawn, J. Will and Max, ESPN Radio Sirius XM Channel 80.
Oh, wow, guys.
Chris Canty in for Key, and we are joined by Monica McNutt.
Go ahead, CC. Do that old man dance. Consistent old man dance. God, don't move from his seat.
I'm too big to be doing a whole lot in the club, man. I'm too big for all of that, dog.
You gotta conserve some energy.
Like, this guy didn't move from his seat for 2.5 hours.
Wait, what do you weigh? Chris, what did you say?
I'm 6'8", 340 pounds.
340.
It's a big dude right there.
Well, it helped out in my line of work. I played
sure
defensive tackle in the NFL.
I'm sure.
Mind about that.
Definitely.
Monica is here giving you the Straight Talk, brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise. You got the sweatshirt on, Monica, and WNBA season tips off tonight.
Today, this was a deliberate wear this morning. Super excited. Listen, there's so much going on with teams and final rosters, and Jay just asked me who's my favorite. Last night, I think I said my favorite is the Aces to finally get over the hump behind new leadership of Becky Hammond. But also, Chicago returns its core. You can't sleep on them.
Hey, Candace.
There's a lot. There's just a lot. If my home team, shout out to the Washington Mystics, if Elena Deladon and Alicia Clark are indeed healthy and going to contribute, watch out. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, can we talk about if you're a professional athlete or a guy who's a fan of WNBA, stop asking for free gear. Take your ass online, support the WNBA, and buy some gear.
I'm just saying, Jay, the way my credit cards and my bank account work.
You're like, hey, we need to get some gear, Monica. I'm like, go buy it.
Get the breaks conversation out your mouth.
You know what it is, Jay?
And also, you just said he's 6'8", 340.
Evan got a free hoodie.
Yeah.
Makes me feel like I should get a free hoodie.
You think I make more sizes for Evan or for you?
He did get a free hoodie.
No, I didn't get a free hoodie. I was angling for a free hoodie. There's a difference.
Big difference.
Well, Evan's in kid size.
So you'll call me out, but you don't want to call Evan out.
It'll cost less. That's fine for Evan.
Okay.
Get my shoe size name out your mouth.
You guys.
Billy, you're so stupid.
So stupid.
Meantime,
give me one of those.
in the NBA, Monica,
there's a transition, Max.
Here is my theory.
That's hard left turn.
That's right.
Max is the king of transitions. I love it.
Why mess around?
Yeah.
Why I'm going to construct something like, well, it's interesting, and let me somehow make this blend into that. Just say it. What are we doing here?
Here we go. Pivot. Let's do it.
Here's,
to the NBA.
here is my theory, okay?
Let's get it.
And people hate when I say it's big for Chris Paul's legacy, but it is both ways. Like if you fail, that part of the story. If you succeed, I think Chris Paul might chip up this year. Huge for him, right? Steph Curry, who has never been a Finals MVP, he's played in 5 finals. God. This is the fact of the matter. Who's had a lot of bad finals, games. Like for example, the biggest choke in history of American team sports, Game 7 at home, 4th quarter against the Cavs. Okay, he just got out. The best player in the series so far has been Ja Morant. Clearly and by far, he's the best player in that series. Missed the last shot to win, so they lost Game 1. But then Memphis came back. They bullied him. Ja went for 47 and won. Now Steph's at home. I'm telling you, and Memphis doesn't have Dylan Brooks. Steph's got to win this game, and he's got to be the best player on the floor at some point, Monica. To that, you say what?
I do think the Warriors will win this game. I'm not sold that Steph will be the best player on the floor, and it's okay.
Okay. Why wouldn't he be the best player on the floor?
I mean, if Clay, who's been in the topic of conversation as of lately, goes off, right? That's not a bad guy to be one-upped by. If the pool party should happen to continue, also something that you can deal with, it's a credit to the Warriors organization in terms of their development. Steph is a key. There's no doubt about that. But I think the nature of the Warriors system and where Steph is in his career.
Where is he in his career?
He's won already. The Finals MVP is the hang-up for you in terms of his
Yes,
legacy?
that's the hang-up for me.
No, that's but it's reflective of the fact
that's
that
the one caveat for Max.
It's reflective of the fact that he has not been as good as he normally is as the stakes rise in the playoffs.
Okay, but he still has the hardware, and he's never left his organization. Guys want to come play with him. I hear where you're coming from.
That is a great point.
Yeah.
He's part of a team that people want to play with, and he creates that atmosphere.
Right, and so in many ways, I don't know, Jay and Canty, you tell me if I'm wrong. I think in many ways, some of the guys that have the individual accolades would easily trade what Steph has been able to be a part of. And so I don't think that affects his legacy one way.
But, you know, when you say be a part of, I just want to take people through it. 2015, they would have obviously lost to the Cavs. It went 6 games, and Kyrie and Kevin Love were out, right? It was so bad they had to give the MVP to the guy who guarded LeBron because LeBron was by so far the MVP of the series, right? They were lucky that the Cavs got hurt, or they never win that one.
Okay.
The next year, they actually lost. The following 2 years, KD comes. There's no way to lose now. You're already a great team. You add KD. You beat any team that was ever constructed. So they crushed everybody, right? But KD won the – I have not yet – and then he lost to Kawhi. I'm not holding that against him. His whole team was hurt, and he played great, but still didn't win. I have yet to see a no-excuses Steph-led Warriors team win a championship. And like, so here, they could get stopped by Memphis now, Monica.
He did win a championship.
They
The
did
first
win a
championship.
championship before KD
The first
got there.
championship.
Right, but LeBron was playing with Dellavedova as his second-best player. Kyrie and Kevin Love got hurt.
Let's go back to your point, though. You said a Steph Curry-led team. He led team to a championship.
No excuses championship. It was very clear to me.
Hold on.
At the end of that
In
series.
whose opinion these excuses come from you?
Hold
Guys.
on, stop, because y'all have the whole show, so I just want to make sure I have this conversation before I have to go.
Yes.
I don't think that is vital. And I think when you look at the way that Steph has changed the game and the organization that he has been an absolute cornerstone to, I don't think that is absolutely vital. I think him not having to always do that is a testament to what what literally was built in Golden State around him.
One of the greatest players of all time. I'm never arguing against that. I'm saying people want to put him in the top 10. Not a lot of room there, right? To me, you got to, at some point, like Jay is thinking about, can I get Steph in the top 10 all time? A lot of people think like that.
He's the greatest shooter the game has ever seen.
But you got to answer to what I'm saying, though, if you want to top 10.
But you're saying the one
caveat.
I'm sorry. You're saying the one caveat is him not being a Finals MVP. If he wins a 4th championship, regardless of how he gets there, Max, you know, we like to fixate on how a player gets here, but this is about moments. So you're telling me if they get by this team and Steph doesn't have a polarizing moment, but then versus Phoenix with CP3, he does have a moment. Like, you're going to hold this
I'm saying that they won't
moment?
get by Memphis if Steph doesn't start. At some point, after they just got bullied, they lost by a guy who dropped 47. Same size as Steph, by the way, Ja Morant, right? If that guy comes to your home court, game 3, and wins a pivotal game 3 and outplays you, I think Memphis goes on to win the series. That's what I'm saying.
And you're saying that's going to diminish Steph's value. His legacy.
It's not an issue of diminish. It's when you talk about getting into the top.
You want him to be that dude.
Yes.
No question. I get where you're
want
coming
Steph
from.
to be that
I do
dude.
think
Yes.
it's necessary. To me, the fact that he's been able to be so successful without that moment, so to speak, to use your your terminology, speaks to, again, what he has. The Warriors are not the Warriors if they don't draft Steph Curry.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying? So
I mean, you're making the best counter argument. This
Right,
is
I
something
hear you,
I understand. It's an
but,
excellent
like,
argument.
I got where you're coming from. Like, you want the NFT moment that goes crazy because Steph shut it down. I get it.
That's what an
buy it.
NFT is. Is that a championship?
I don't buy it.
That's what an NFT is.
It's a Finals MVP.
Oh.
Wow, I just don't understand, Max, when you look at the resume, man. 2-time scoring champ. He's got 2 MVPs, 1 unanimous.
One of the greatest players
The
of all time.
only
but not-
unanimous-
He's a great. First of all, he's revolutionized how you play the game.
The only unanimous MVP in the history of basketball.
And by the way, if you look back, that's
Right,
nonsense
that's not
because
enough.
that's a regular season award. And in the finals, when it mattered most, LeBron was so much better. It wasn't worth talking about.
Well,
And
Draymond,
by the way-
Draymond
Go
getting
ahead,
kicked
Monica.
out for 1 game in that series was ultimately the turning point
LeBron
for
also
it.
did that.
He averaged
Got him
27
kicked
in
out.
that series, by the way. Go ahead, Monica.
This is part of the Michael Jordan argument, which I get. I get where you're coming from. And I think it's a fair argument. I personally don't subscribe. That's all.
All I'm saying is,
Meanwhile, on planet Earth, Monica.
but
I
CC,
got-
but hold on, CC.
Okay.
I just want to stay on this for 1 second. I just want to clarify. You used the LeBron thing to hurt Steph.
I'm not hurting him.
LeBron.
How am I hurting him?
beat him?
You got to earn
You
into the top
used-
10.
You used the LeBron thing to diminish Steph in that moment, right? Essentially, because you're
using
saying
it. I'm just counting stuff up. I'm just
Okay.
looking, observing, and then ranking.
is LeBron James one of the top 3 greatest players who ever played
Yes.
the game of basketball?
Yes.
Okay. I just want to clarify that point because you're comparing him to one of the greatest players to ever do it. Maybe top 2 of all time, Michael Jordan.
But
Like,
if you're
it's-
unanimous MVP, what that ought to mean, there's no, like, you know, in a league where the only important thing is actually the postseason, because no MVP ever comes from a non-playoff team. Most of the teams make it to the playoffs. Literally, over 50% of the teams make it to the playoffs.
Now they do.
I'm not even then. 8 out of 15 is more than 50%. So to not observe what happens when the games actually matter and to say, oh, that doesn't matter. He was unanimous MVP. Revote on that after the playoffs. He wouldn't have gotten a vote. It would have been LeBron. So even that whole, he's the first unanimous MVP. I thought they were going to win the series. I thought it would be because of Steph. They didn't. And partly it was because Steph choked in game 7 in the fourth quarter.
I just don't like the fact you diminish playing 82 games with somebody who's never played a game before. You don't know how hard it is to have that level every single game, every single night.
He's one of the greatest players. He's the greatest player ever, 6'3" or under. Right? I get it. The game selects out for size, though.
It is a fascinating conversation because as much of a literal game changer as Steph has been, you could certainly nitpick clutch performance in the postseason.
I'm with you on that.
Which is fair, but I think in the conversation of the greats, you got to look at it in totality. I'm not willing to hold that against him, especially because ultimately, more times than not, he's wound up with the hardware.
He has, again, no question.
But
you're right.
It is still a team sport.
It's like me trying to. One of the reasons basketball is a barbershop sport, right? You talk about it like boxing, is of all the team sports, it's the easy. This is changing a little because football, the quarterback is now so important. People do this with quarterbacks. But it's the easiest team sport to reduce, even if it's unfair, to the number one character involved, right? And make it almost as though it's a fighter.
So just to stick with you on barbershop, though, because, Max, you are such an intelligent guy and you do this for a living. I do not expect to walk into a barbershop typically, unless somebody was just listening to you, and somebody reduces Steph to what he did not do in the postseason.
But you might say, is he top 10 of all time? You might hear that, and someone say, how could he be top 10 of all time? Who are you taking out?
But I never say he's top 10 of all time. I say he's trending in that direction when it's all said and done.
Okay, Jay, this is what I mean. Monica, this is what I mean. Everyone always hears the negative. Oh, media guy saying he's trying to set him up for the negative. There's an upside and a downside. Thrill of victory, agony of defeat. It's not all about the downside. There's also the upside. Let Steph beat back a young Ja, right, and get there and win the chip this year. That adds, Jay. I'm not trying to diminish him. I just want to observe where he lands.
But okay, now if the Warriors beat the Grizzlies, but Steph does not ascend to whatever level to the NFT moment, are you still not satisfied?
No, if they win, they win. My prediction is they don't win because Ja, if Steph doesn't step up, if he allows Ja to be the best player in the series, I don't think they're going to win.
I disagree with your own assessment of yourself.
Okay.
Because I know you. I've been around. We've been together for a good year now every single day. I know what you will do if Steph does not play well and they still win. You're still going to say there's something for him to prove. I know you, Max.
Probably.
That's where the argument is going.
Yeah.
Probably,
Like
but Monica makes a very good point. It's a team sport, and Steph, his style of play, the way he plays, his excellence has created 4 championships. Like, that has happened. I can't say that hasn't happened.
Y'all not going to let me get Monica's take on the Dylan Brooks suspension?
No, because we have to go to break. Monica, do you want to stay?
Yeah. Can I?
Look, just
She
force her
can't. She
hand.
has things to do.
I got to do my eyelash. I got to get up. Here's my deal on
okay,
Dylan Brooks' take. I mean, my thing on Dylan Brooks, I don't love the suspension. I understand it. I think compared to the Grayson Allen play, which is the closest thing, transition, take a guy out of the air, I get it. But in this series,